On the analyst desk to break down Tip's win.
Thank you, Riv, and a much more one-sided battle this time around in favor of Team Impulse, now snagging that third spot going into our playoffs. Gravity coming out with the 4 slot. They already mentioned it. Big player here for Team Impulse, Rush. Coming up, huge for the team here.
You could say that.
Nidalee back in the hands of Rush, just once again showcasing why so many other teams have just banned it out.
Why don't you ban it this game? I was really confused by the Shen ban because Gravity plays Shen as well as a support for Bunny Fufu and mildly a flex pick for Hanser, but they ban it away and they leave up the Nidalee, which is going to get first picked away, and then they play Rengar into it, which Rengar doesn't have a lot of early game pressure. He has to hit that 6 for the lane pressure, whereas Nidalee's just really good right off the bat.
What bugged me the most is the play, not the picks for Gravity here, because, man, the early game from Gravity, they invaded on the Krugs. Okay, you can 4-man invade on Krugs, and you have the vision down too, so you can see them starting the Krugs, get everybody in place to jump over at the same time. What they had is Rengar jump over from the brush first, and then he had to just run away because nobody else was there. He couldn't try and gain an advantage. You need to gain a health advantage by doing more damage to your opponents while you're doing that. If you just steal away the big Krug, it's not that big of a gain, and then we see the repercussions of that as Rush doesn't take that lightly. You invade him, after he gets his red buff, he's coming straight back for you, and Move decides to go back into his own blue buff, knowing very well that Rush has kill pressure on him. And he's like, okay, I'm going to take this blue, and then me and Keen are going to outplay you. They fail to outplay as they draw the wrong cards. They miss an empower. He doesn't even go for an empowered Bola.
Right, he goes for the Q as a or it doesn't even go for a heal either, right? Like, he maybe keep himself alive a little bit longer. And this kind of goes back to the point that we were discussing earlier in the days, Irene, about Gravity and how they're going to find their way back to winning strategies. You know, in that they have been so innovative at level 1 in the past. Well, okay, they made an attempt at it this time around, but it seemed a little half-hearted. Yeah. It seemed like it wasn't fully fleshed out because ultimately you succeeded in stealing a large Krug, delaying your own laners getting to lane, and then getting counter-invaded.
Yeah, their level 1 fell apart. It was innovative, but it wasn't very good. And then Move was completely dictated by Rush. So they shut down the guy who usually provides them vision, usually provides them a lot of kills onto their laners, and that's why I don't think Rengar is a very good pick for Move. I feel like he's better on these other champions that don't need gold to actually be relevant, and you saw the fact that he lacks gold, he's on a squishy champion, he's going to get destroyed by Rush every single time, and TIP, after that level 1, were able to just systematically pull them apart after that.
I got to go back to it again for Impulse Gate. You know, the emergency sub here in the mid lane for them. We've now seen him play 3 games in the mid lane. How are we feeling, Kobe?
Huh? Gate? Honestly, as far as, you know...
Well, I wanted to go more on this. Oh, okay, let's go back. We'll get to Gate. We only have so much time, though. So you go, and then we're moving on to Gate, okay?
I'll use Gate in what we were going to talk about. So the Rengar versus Nidalee, if you don't have a disastrous early game like that, Rengar can actually 100% Nidalee later in the game, and it's just fine into it if you don't make those early, risky choices. And that's the real difference between these super confident junglers like Rush. He's never afraid. You invade him, he takes it in stride, he continues to jungle, will invade you right back, and he's going to get that advantage back. They also drafted
Oriana.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to scare you, Kobe. I feel like I caught you.
No, for Gate, and he had good performance once again. He was able to beat Keen in the mid lane, and Keen on the Twisted Fate, which is sort of a takeaway from Gate, you know, champion that he's known for. Fumbled some of the early cards, which led to, you know, adding to the jungle discrepancy there. So, Gate, to your original question, he's doing okay.
Okay, we've come full circle. Yeah, I was going to say, I do feel that, you know, given the circumstances for Impulse, you know, losing your mid laner in the last week of the regular season and having to then fight for seeding in the playoffs, ending up in 3rd place is not a bad place to be.
Well, it's a great place because they're going to be playing Team Dignitas, a team that they're okay against, and I feel like TIP is going to be in a great spot. I'm more worried about Gravity up against TSM because with Keen not having great performances and needing counter picks, and even then not showing up a lot, he's up against Bjergsen, he's up against TSM. They have all this time. I'm excited for playoffs and seeing how that ends up.
Heck yeah, the playoff brackets are filling out. There's still one more game coming our way. It's our battle for 1st place between Team Liquid and Counterlogic Gaming. Don't go anywhere.
going in, that's gonna be the Mega Gnar. He times it nicely, gets the kill, but the Twisted Advance was there. He hops out, oh, the Siege Minion. What an amazing game. Keaton now to start fighting this one out. The gold card when he needs it. Oh, but the clock tower.
Coming. I'm on TF right now. Yeah, TF. I'm coming. Coming, too. I got him. Slow. I can't speed. Actually, finish. Okay.
Gate keeping himself very safe on the backside there, face of the mountain to keep him even safer with a shield. Impulse in the third place game is going to take victory over Gravity.